Hi, everyone. Are you able to hear me there in the classroom?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, those of you joining us in the Education 180 course, as well as those online. My name is Andrew Bottom, and I am the Associate Director for the Global Internship Program here at UCLA. And I'm here to talk a little bit today about the Global Internship Program we run specifically with the Department of Education on the UCLA campus. So today we'll cover a little bit about why you might be interested in interning abroad, some of the locations that we have education-based programs, the application selection and placement process, ways to fund your study abroad, as well as we have upcoming info sessions for each of our particular locations. So today I'm doing more of a general overview, and then all the locations, we actually have our on-site program partners who are in charge of placements, housing, all of your day-to-day health and safety. They're presenting as well these upcoming next 2 weeks. And then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end as well. So first question might be, why might you consider or be interested in interning abroad? We've had quite a few education students do these over the past few years. And I think in general, it's a great opportunity to gain a competitive edge in the job market, specifically the international job market. I know that a lot of jobs, both locally in LA, you're working with international teams. A lot of students are also interested in working abroad in general. And so getting that first experience is a great opportunity while you're studying at UCLA, getting a lot of on-site experience, industry knowledge. I think some of the soft skills too are things that students bring away from the experience, not just the experience of particularly learning those hard skills, but just strengthening communication, team building, adaptability. All of our locations, you'll be working, being able to speak in English with your supervisor, but also your whole team may not be English speaking, so learning how to communicate across cultures, boundaries, and just adapting to a whole new lifestyle. You'll have a lot of great opportunities to network with a UCLA cohort going abroad, as well as obviously your internship site, so your manager, your coworkers. And then there's ways to make progress towards your capstone. We'll talk about that in a little bit, as well as just upper division coursework in your major and minor. So a quick overview of what the Global Internship Program is. So the program occurs during summer session A10, and it includes an 8-week internship, which is on-site, as well as 10 weeks of online coursework. And we'll go into what that coursework is here in a second. While you're doing the experience, you'll either take one mandatory course, or you could opt into it also an optional course. So 4 to 8 units total. You must be enrolled in both courses, however, if you are interested in applying for financial aid so that you meet the minimum number of required units. They are academic, so they are unpaid. I apologize, we used to offer virtual opportunities, so it should just say in-country opportunities on this slide. And then as far as internship hours, you'll be interning approximately 32 hours a week, so 4 days a week. So generally, it's a pretty intensive experience, I like to tell students, but I think on the back end, you get a lot out of the experience itself. Eligibility criteria, so you must be an education major. You must have completed the Education 180 course by spring 2024. So obviously those of you in the class right now, that should be no problem. Those of you joining us online, just note that I know the class occurs every quarter, so make sure that you're on track to complete that by spring 2024, or check in with the education advisors if you have any questions about being able to enroll. Having a 3.0 minimum GPA, as well as 90 units completed by spring 2024. So at the time of application, if you have transfer credit or AP units, those will go towards the 90 units. But if you don't have 90 units completed yet upon applying, that's fine as long as you'll be able to complete 90 units by spring 2024, and then good academic standing. The coursework itself, there's 2 courses that are offered. So the mandatory course is Education 195 CE. So this is your internship course. You'll be meeting with Dr. Dorio during that course, and it satisfies the education and social transformation major community engagement requirement. So it's nice because you can do this program and also can fulfill that requirement at the same time. The course is asynchronous outside of conducting bi-weekly one-on-one appointments, and those would be arranged with Dr. Dorio directly or a TA, depending on how it will work out this year in our size of group that's going abroad. But in general, that course is asynchronous in terms of the coursework you're doing and the final project. There is additionally a CSC 130 course, which focuses on intercultural communication in the global workplace. That does satisfy an elective course for the education major. So in both cases, the nice thing is you can make progress towards your degree while conducting an internship abroad. The locations that we are having the program this upcoming summer include Bali, Indonesia, Bogota, Colombia, and Cape Town. So three really great locations, very distinct each one in terms of both, the local culture and environment, as well as, the different opportunities that are available. We do make a note that in Bogota, basic Spanish level skills may be required for some placements, specifically if you're interacting with the local community. However, there are still placements if you don't have Spanish skills that you can still be placed at. So in all locations, you are guaranteed an English speaking supervisor. In general, the focuses of these internship placements focus a lot on advocacy groups, human rights, social justice, education, obviously, as well as working with NGOs and nonprofits. So I guess in the case of, the types of placements, you won't necessarily be in a standard education setting where you're teaching in front of a classroom per se, but you might be working with like a human rights group where you'll be assisting with creating curriculum, assisting with, writing presentations. There are placements specifically in Bogota where maybe you're working with after school programming with students and assisting with the curriculum development process, assisting, with the students on site. So every location is a little bit different, but a lot of great opportunities. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can learn about what's available on those sites in just a little bit. But first, we're going to go into the application selection and placement process. And so to do that, we did put together a quick little video for you because she's more exciting than me, although it's a robot speaking. But we're going to play it real quickly to give you an idea of how the placement process and timeline works. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the application itself.
The UCLA Global Internship Program, Placement Process and Timeline. The Global Internship Program offers UCLA students the opportunity to gain a competitive edge in the job market with an 8-week international summer internship. Students receive direct UCLA credit and secure an internship based on their academic, professional, and personal goals. After an application is submitted, the student will interview with our program partners in the host country to assess their qualifications, experience, goals, and discuss possible internship placements. In January, after an extensive review, students are notified of their application status. If accepted, they must submit a non-refundable $300 deposit to secure their spot on the program. In February, students must pay the full program fee or submit a financial aid agreement form. This payment is used to finalize and secure all program logistics, such as housing. This is also the last chance to withdraw from the program without any additional financial penalty. Starting in April and moving into early June, the internship placement process will occur. Our program partners will arrange interviews with local organizations and companies based on each student's individual goals. Students will interview with one host company at a time. Ongoing interviews will continue with prospective internship site managers until there is a match between both the student and the host company. We guarantee all students an international internship placement. Visit ieo.ucla.edu/global internships to view our programs, dates and deadlines, funding resources, and more.
So we'll talk now a little bit more about the application process in detail, but did want to mention that, while you're thinking about possibly whether this program is a good match for you, a good fit, we do have on our website, you'll notice that there is a sample internship placements menu bar when you're on any one of our particular programs. And we have some examples of some past placements that students have conducted in the different sites. Note this is not an exhaustive list of opportunities, but does provide some general ideas of what you might expect to conduct in terms of an internship and the duties when you're abroad. If you do see something you really are interested in doing and interning at a specific organization, you can definitely include that in your statement of purpose or when you talk with our on-site partners in that follow-up advising interview. That's the second step in the application process. But again, it just gives you an idea of some of the placement opportunities available to UCLA students in these different sites. In terms of the actual application, I was discussing in the video, The application itself is pretty quick in terms of just providing some of your demographic information. That could probably be completed in about 15 minutes, to be honest. But there are 2 documents that take a little bit more time to complete, which include your resume. You have to complete this, when you submit your application. This is what will be sent along to potential internship site managers, as well as our on-site program partners, who are the ones on-site in each of these 3 destinations, and are the ones who have the network of organizations that they work with to place students with every summer. They're also in charge of your health and well-being while you're abroad, as they live on-site. So making sure your resume is up to date, spell checked, grammar checked, including any relevant experience, both in terms of professional experience as well as club memberships, leadership experiences that might be relevant. There also is a statement of purpose you'll need to fill out, and you'll see on our website pages that we have more information about each of these 4 questions. But in general, it's an opportunity to talk a little bit about who you are, your career goals, skills, why you think you would be, succeed in an internship in this program. And it provides us, as well as our on-site partners and internship managers, some insight into who you are before meeting you. This statement of purpose you can download during the application process, so you'll get a little PDF form. That's what you'll download. But we always encourage students to write on a Word doc in advance, their statement of purpose, so it's easy once you're in the application to copy and paste it into that PDF. Just note there are some character limitations for each of the questions. So that's presented on our website, what the limitations are for each of the 4 questions. The application is currently open, so it's open now until November 27th. You can apply at any time, and as the video is mentioning, there's no financial commitment upon applying. You don't have any sort of financial commitment until you are invited to participate in the program, which the acceptance notifications occur in the middle of January. And at that point is when the $300 deposit is due. But at time of applying, by connecting that second step, that advising session with our on-site partners, there's no financial commitment. So in general, if you're interested, nothing to lose. All applications are treated equally. However, if you do apply earlier in the application cycle, I think the benefit of that is that second step, that advising interview with our on-site program partners, that can be conducted anytime after you apply. And so 90% of students love applying around the last day of the application, which means that they tend to conduct that advising appointment in December, which could be around finals, 10th week, or your vacation. So it's always nice to do that earlier on, so it's not, interfering with your academics. I know a big question is probably going to be, how would I fund my experience abroad? So the first thing I want to note is that financial aid is eligible for these programs. So if you are enrolled in both courses, you'd be financial aid eligible. You would still need to complete your FAFSA or DREAM application by the priority deadline for summer 2024 programs, which occurs, I believe it's March 1st or 2nd this upcoming year. Financial aid will consider the cost of the entire program. So when you're on each of our program web pages, there is a cost breakdown of the program fee, which is your tuition, housing, your health insurance, as well as some other, additional things like airport pickup, your on-site health and safety. There might be some events included depending on the program. So all that's included in the program fee. But there are some additional estimated costs like your flights, your meals and incidentals, while you're there, transportation costs that are going to vary depending on the student. So financially, we'll consider all of the estimates that we provide to them on that cost sheet, which you'll see on each web page, which gives you a general idea of what the full program cost might be. One thing to note, though, is that in summer, and this is true about any program, it does tend to be a little more loan heavy than the academic year because there's no Cal Grant available. So we just like to promote to students that they apply for scholarships. So we have various scholarship opportunities for students, particularly for these scholarships. A lot of them are very directed in terms of only a small pool of applicants are going to be eligible because they have to be in the Global Internship Program or have to be taking a particular class. So we highly encourage you to apply if you're eligible. The UCLA Global Internship Program Scholarship is up to $3,000. It's only for students who are financially eligible and who are applying for the Global Internship Program. The CCE, which is the Center for Community Engagement, internship scholarships for anyone conducting a 195 CE course during the summer. So that one, again, is only a particular pool of applicants, up to $5,000. The Wang Middle Income Scholarship of $2,000. And then if you are a Pell Grant recipient, we always highly encourage you to apply to the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. It's a national scholarship, but about 25% of students nationwide do receive it who apply. up to $5,000. We have students every year on our Global Internship Program who receive this scholarship, and UCLA is one of the highest achieving institutions nationwide in terms of students applying and receiving the Gilman. So definitely some good opportunities to get your programming funded. Most of these scholarships don't open until either, in the case of global internships, in December, but the rest usually in January, like the new year. So just note that upon applying, scholarships are not currently open, but will be open soon after. And for the case of the Global Internship Program Scholarship, we do provide you with knowledge of whether you've received it or not prior to that final financial commitment, which is in the middle of February. Now, we want to make note that it's not all just work. You have a UCLA cohort who's going to be there with you abroad. You'll have other international students who might also be conducting an internship at your internship site. So it's a great opportunity to meet folks, to explore your city, to explore your host country, to explore maybe outside of your host country, depending on the location and where you want to go. It's definitely a lot of fun. Definitely have a lot of great experiences from students who come back. In some of our location-specific sessions, we will have some students speaking about their experiences on these programs, so highly encourage for you to attend those as well. And if you don't mind, and I have my colleague Anna Arellano, who is here as well. If you don't mind, Anna, plugging into the chat that the calendar of events for those who are online with us. But for those of you who are in the classroom, just note that the io.ucla.edu/calendar, we have all of the upcoming info sessions listed there, as well on the overview page of each one of our programs. We talk about those info sessions that are coming up over the next 2 weeks. But just wanted to share with you a couple quotes from the students who conducted this program in the past. Jocelyn was with us this last year in Cape Town. She said, "My global internship has helped me think about inequalities through a worldwide lens. It's helped me find interconnectedness in 2 completely different countries. I learned the importance of being open-minded, reflecting community, and the value of finding similarities in difference." And she interned at the Ilhalta shelter in Cape Town. And then we have a couple students who interned in Bogota. We had Omar at Fundación TAP. Said, "The knowledge I gained during my global internship program in Bogota, Colombia, could never have been acquired from a textbook or sitting in a classroom. I truly believe this experience allowed me to gain knowledge around culturally responsive practices through the community engagement that I experienced." Then we had Ariana, who also interned in Bogota at Somos Capaces. And she said, "An advice I would give to future students who want to participate in the Global Internship Program is not to be afraid. Risk it all because at the end, it's worth every minute of it. Trust the process." So these are all 3 students who did conduct the program recently. Omar, Ariana went in summer 2022, and Jocelyn was here actually with us this past summer, along with some other education students. We would like to note that you connect with students who have either conducted this program through the education career track or who have conducted it through a different career track but have gone to those 3 destinations. So Bali, Cape Town, and Bogota. Connect with them on our student ambassador webpage. So this page is on our IEO site. So ucla.io.edu/global internships. You will find the student ambassador page, and you can connect with those students to ask them more questions about their experiences on the program, on their specific location, and they can share with you anything that you would like to know from a student perspective. And just want to note, I have my colleague Anna Arellano with us. If you want to introduce yourself real quickly, Anna, she is your advisor for the education program.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but thank you, Andrew. My name is Anna Arellano, and I'm the coordinator for the education program, our education track. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to connect with an ambassador, want to know a little bit more about differences between Bali, Bogota, I'm happy to answer those questions. They can be via email, or I'm happy to schedule a Zoom appointment with you as well. Just feel free to connect with me at any time.
Thank you, Anna. And what I'm going to do now is, I know we have a couple extra minutes. I'm going to stop the recording and then open it up to any questions that students might have. So give me 1 second to stop the recording.